Yes. So she said that this witness is never going to testify.
Yeah, we've lost some talk.
Hi and welcome to Flossom Talk. I'm Shashti Floor, journalist, Hollywood truth teller, and your voice of reason in a town built on delusion. Before I get into anything I'm going to talk about today, I just wanted to say that it really affected me, everything that's been happening lately. There's so many horrific stories out there. I'm not going to cover them specifically here on my channel, but I just wanted everyone to know that I'm so heartbroken with what happened yesterday with Charlie Kirk. And also this Ukrainian refugee, her name is Irina Sarutska. This story is just so sad. TMZ actually just issued an apology about how they reported on Charlie Kirk yesterday, because there were people sharing in the background and yelling and screaming and applauding when they were talking about it. And now they came out with an apology saying that they were watching a car chase in the background while they were reporting on this. I don't know. I feel like just TMZ, I don't like their reporting in general. And I think what they did with Justin Baldoni just a few days ago is just so despicable. And I'll get into that shortly. Also in this episode, I wanted to go through some of the bots that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been using to promote their posts. There is this really interesting thread on Reddit, and it's so obvious what Blake and Ryan have been up to this entire time. Also, Colleen Hoover is writing a new book. And it seems like she's been inspired by this controversy and by this scandal that she was involved in. And her latest movie, Verity, have been postponed. I don't know the reason for that. Also, Paul Feig's new movie with Brandon Sklenar is coming out this Christmas, and it could almost look like Paul Feig is having a dig at Blake Lively in his latest interview. All right, so let's get straight into this. So there is a TikToker. Her name is, I don't know her real name, but on TikTok, she's called Not Actually Golden. She's an attorney, and she's done an amazing job analyzing everything. It ends with us. And yesterday, she posted a very interesting video. As you know, I've been speaking about this secret witness for a couple of days now. No one knows who this is. It was in Blake Lively's latest filing where she's asking for attorney's fee. She attached this witness statement from an unknown person with everything retracted, so you couldn't actually see who this person is. I'm guessing it's Blake Lively. Other people have other guesses. I'll go through that also. But first, I wanted to point out something that actually Not Golden said in her video yesterday. She was furious with TMZ and that article that they posted, because she said they had this exclusive article, of course, coming straight from Blake Lively's camp, where they said that this new witness was most definitely going to testify. And this is what she had to say about that.
When I read in TMZ last night that, they say it's an exclusive, it obviously came from the Lively camp, that this person who signed this declaration is absolutely going to testify, that was the one, you guys. That just knocked me over with a feather. And the reason for that is there is no way in hell that a person who had a general negative interaction with Justin Baldoni or Jamie Heath or anybody at Wayfair would ever be permitted to testify about those incidents in a trial about sexual harassment and retaliation. Because in the United States, propensity evidence is not permitted. You are not allowed to introduce evidence that someone did something before as evidence that they did it this time.
Yes. So she said that this witness is never going to testify. So why would they give that statement to TMZ? Only to get that headline, more people are accusing Justin Baldoni. It's so cruel. It's almost criminal what they're doing. And as I said yesterday, I mentioned all these outlets that actually picked this up, and several of them were reporting on the fact that this person was going to witness, which is never going to happen. And they know that. And they could say that because also, as I still think, this is Blake Lively herself. As I said yesterday, there was a footnote in this filing pointing that this person, it didn't say another person, it said this person had these experiences with Baldoni on another set, on another project. And a few people sent me this idea, which I really like. Thank you so much for sending me this. Remember that stunt that Ryan Reynolds put together with Brandon Sklenar? They called it Junket Crashers. They pretended that they were going to interview Brandon Sklenar. He got his mom on board doing it, and he got Hugh Jackman on board doing it. And they were all pretending that Ryan Reynolds was this jealous husband and Brandon Sklenar was stealing Blake from him, whatever the skit was. It was a maximum effort production, meaning it was another production on another set. This makes so much sense to me, and that's why I still think this is Blake Lively. Or there is a minor chance that it actually might be Ryan Reynolds. Let me know what you think about that. A lot of people also send me this article from Deadline from September 2024, when they wrote about this creative disagreement that Justin Baldoni had with an NBA star called Craig Hodges. They were doing a documentary on him and they got the rights for the documentary, but then there was a disagreement of the director that we're going to choose for the project. Wayfair parties wanted a black director because they thought that would be more fitting for this documentary. But Craig Hodges himself wanted someone called G.V. Singh, a British Indian filmmaker, to direct it. The project hasn't been made yet. It's still on the shelf. And that's also why I find it impossible that that secret witness is Craig Hodges, because they haven't even shot this documentary. So what set are they talking about? And the marketing and PR that Justin Baldoni wasn't allowed to be a part of, what marketing and PR of a project that doesn't really exist except from on a shelf at the Wayfair party's offices? So no, I think it's impossible that this person, this secret witness, is Craig Hodges. Okay, so I went down the rabbit hole this morning on Reddit and I found this thread of people discussing Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's bots, because it's so obvious at this point that they have hired a bunch of bots to comment on their social media posts. And why it's obvious? It's because when you look at posts like these, this is from Ryan Reynolds on the red carpet at Toronto Film Festival. The commenter says, Ryan Reynolds perfectly captures that slow morning vibe we all know too well. His humor makes even the most sluggish start to the day feel relatable and funny. Who says that? Anyways, just look at the likes on this comment. 58. Here's another one from Toronto Film Festival. Commenter saying, Ryan's insight into John Candy's struggle as a people pleaser and mental health warrior really hits home. Who says that? Anyways, 58 likes. Then they screenshotted some of the positive Blake Lively comments. They don't all have 58 likes, they all have 47 likes. Like this one. This new development adds another layer to the case, and it will be interesting to see how this impacts Blake Lively's upcoming trial. The legal proceeding seems to be taking a serious turn. 47 likes. Then, on another post, this is a serious matter that raises important questions about accountability and the impact of harassment, especially within the entertainment industry. It will be interesting to see how this develops in court and what the outcome may mean for both individuals involved. 48 likes. Here's another person. This is a serious allegation that adds a new layer of complexity to the original legal battle. It will be interesting to see how the trial unfolds and how this new testimony impacts the case. 47 likes. And as this Reddit commenter is pointing out here, the most common words used from those three comments are, it will be interesting to see how the trial ... It's definitely the same bot, just different pictures and names. So true. This is so obvious to me. And then another person commented and said, Blake's bot usage was being tracked in real time by Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace. In fact, Melissa even brought in someone whose sole job was to monitor Blake's team and gather evidence. And continuing to say, I've always suspected Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were running bots, and now it looks like Wayfair took steps to confirm it. Creators who've criticized Blake or even mentioned Van Zandt saw their videos removed or stripped of sound. Mass bot reporting, question mark? That's certainly what it looks like. Take a look at some of the big pop culture subs on Reddit and that post about Blake Lively. You will notice a pattern. Interestingly enough, Blake Lively attached this as evidence against Justin Baldoni, where there is a discussion. This was released just a few weeks ago, and I talked about it back then. And these are examples of the conversations that Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni and Melissa Nathan, discussions they had about Blake Lively's bots. Here it says, "Good morning, this is from Melissa Nathan, sharing with you a perfect example of why we don't use bots. I wouldn't even worry to think they hired a team as A, nothing to find, B, they hired an awful team, which I've sent to our guy to track and pull so we have evidence of it. This below should answer everyone's question on what a bot team looks like when every single comment suddenly skews in her favor in a nonsense way." And then there's a link to Instagram and it says, "At least sprinkle them in." And then she said she needs to fire her bot team. And then Justin replies saying, how can we say somehow that we are not doing any of this? It looks like we are trying to take her down with all the bad bots. It's so obvious that this looks fake that they think that they might be accused of doing that. And then Melissa says, it doesn't. They're doing all of this themselves, and it's really obvious. And then she's putting an example. I can't really read it. This is bots. And then they're putting another example here of a TikTok video where Jed Wallace is pointing out, this is the exact same playbook. They are out there mass bot reporting. Insane. So I think this is a video of probably someone saying that their video was taken down, and I've seen it happen. And so many people have contacted me and said these things happen and they're being mass reported. And this is an example of that. Also in this thread, they attached this message. I remember this a while back and I was like, wow. So the comment here is saying, creators who criticized Blake in August 2024 received some very interesting DMs. The people who sent the DMs were telling creators to take down their videos about Blake because something was coming out soon. And here's one of those DMs. I remember someone talking about this on another YouTube show. I don't remember who it was, but the message that she received was this one as well. And it said, hi there, you don't know me and please never post this anywhere, but for your own awareness. I just thought I'd message you. A lot happened on set that will eventually come out. But if I were you, I'd take those videos down. I can promise you wholeheartedly that the female cast members are victims. That's all I can say, but to put any negative press on people going through it is just probably the last thing they need. Again, obviously you had zero idea, but just wanted to give you a heads up. It will come out in their own time, but Blake is as sweet and it will come out in their own time, but Blake is as sweet and innocent as ever. And you are correct that her husband absolutely is there to protect her. So they were trying to guilt trip people, sending these messages to some of the content creators out there that was speaking negatively about Blake Lively during her press tour. Yes, interesting developments, you guys. Anyways, Colleen Hoover is coming out with a new book. It's called Woman Down, and it's going to be published on January 13th, 2026 through Amazon Publishing. And the story seems to be a bit of a meta take on Hoover's own recent scandals. It follows an author on the heels of a viral backlash over a film adaptation of her books, retreating to a lakeside cabin to find inspiration. So it seems like Colleen Hoover found inspiration from what happened to her during the scandal. As you know, she took down her Instagram in the middle of this crisis. And when she put it back up again, she had removed photos of Blake and Ryan. I'm sure she's going to be deposed by Brian Friedman, by the way. So let's see what she says under oath, or if she's just going to do the same as Isabella Ferrer and scream harassment when they try to subpoena her. On the Today Show, she actually said that this was one of the darkest things she's ever written. Also in the news is that Colleen Hoover's movie Verity with Anne Hathaway, Dakota Johnson, and Josh Hartnett has been pushed. It was supposed to be released in May, 15th of May, 2026, but now it's been pushed back to October 2nd of next year. It doesn't say why. I don't know if they want to push that premiere because it might be too close to Blake Lively's trial, and they want to make sure all the backlash that Colleen Hoover received from this mess is not going to affect her movie. I don't know. Anyways, Paul Feig is out there again with another movie with Brendan Sklenar. And in this interview with People magazine, it almost seems like he's taking a dig at Blake Lively. Let me know what you think. He also talks so highly of the actresses Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. And he says that they have the most amazing chemistry on set and blah, blah, blah. Like he does with everyone. He did that with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick as well. And we all knew that that was a lie. I don't think it's a lie that Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney got along. I have never met Sydney Sweeney, but I have met Amanda Seyfried. And I have to say, she's one of the most down-to-earth, really cool, nice people that I've ever interviewed. She is really one of my favorite actresses out there, I think. She's just so unbothered with all the fuss and all the Hollywood fanfare. She just doesn't care, and she's just so sweet. And she has the cutest dog that has his own Instagram as well. Anyway, so whatever he says, I don't really believe it, but I do believe that the reason Brendan Sklenar is in this movie is because Blake Lively got him that job. Maybe she got him that job so he would stand up for her and protect her and support her in this case. Who knows? Anyways, at the end of this interview, Paul Feig came with these statements. He said, "Bring your friends and wear your pearls because you definitely be clutching them. Remember Blake Lively? Grab your friends and wear your florals." I don't know if it's a reference to Blake Lively or not, but I think it's probably a better line to promote a movie like this than it was for Blake to promote a DV movie saying, "Bring your friends and wear your florals," as that is one of the most famous lines that have given her the most backlash from her entire promo tour. Anyways, you guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for sending me the amazing tips that makes it possible for me to do these episodes every single day. I really appreciate you guys so much. You're so nice. You're so polite and so respectful in the comment section as well. I have to say, I'm so proud of this community that we have here. So yes, please keep doing that. And of course, check if you've been unsubscribed. I see it happening all the time to people that they've been unsubscribed without knowing it. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Flawsome Talk. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.